Good evening to all my fans and followers, it's Max from the Black Jersey, and welcome back to the channel. Now we've won a whitewash of the Bledisloe Cup series, we've made a clean sweep, 3-0, great work to our boys, excellent work on this game, and the final score was pretty big. As you can see, we got a total of 38 points. Good stuff. Now let's get straight into this match review. I'm going to cover quite a few things in the first half, a bit of commentary on the second, and explain the try scorers, why I thought the second half was so much better. Let's hop right in, guys. We definitely pushed to bed the nightmares of Optus Stadium in Perth quite early on. In the 3rd minute, Marika Koroibete already had a disallowed try because he wasn't bound to the ruck. Scott Barrett unfortunately missed a tackle on Karevi, but Scott Barrett I think was absolutely excellent for the rest of the game. Nowhere near the horrendous game he had last time. He was just world class. 5th minute, Wallabies turnover after All Blacks driving more, and in the 6th minute, Laulala collapsed the scrum. Yeah, our scrum was pretty good most of the game, but can't always be 100% perfect. It's okay though. 7th minute Havili turnover after no release by Tom Banks, who did not have a very good game. Thanks to Havili's turnover, Beauden Barrett was able to kick a penalty to make the score 3-0. So after we drew that first blood, there wasn't really any coming back for the Wallabies. They never led the game the whole time. We were just excellent and we never took the foot off the pedal. In the 10th minute, believe it or not as well, Brad Weber made a huge tackle. After a Wallaby scrum from the 11th minute, in the 12th minute, Beauden Barrett's interception leads to a kick downfield by Will Jordan. Wallabies bring the ball out though, so it's an All Black line out. Yeah, it's probably not the smartest thing to go to touch, is it, Wallabies? Anyway, so 13th minute, 2 Wallabies penalties in a row. Yes, in a row, I'm not kidding. And yeah, so Beauden Barrett was able to luckily make the scoreline 6-0. 17th minute, the Wallabies actually had quite a few phases as well, but the All Blacks, we got the ball again. Who could have guessed? Great teamwork as well after these phases from the Wallabies as well. I think Beauden Barrett and Will Jordan did an excellent job with giving Brad Weber a bit of space. Beauden Barrett put down a great kick between the Wallaby defenders. Tom Banks was not in position, so Will Jordan was able to run through that line. He was able to grab the ball, and Brad Weber had all the space in the world. Brad Weber eventually gave off a try assist for Jordie Barrett, and unfortunately, Jordie did depart the field quite early, so we're going to get to that soon. It's rather controversial for those who did not watch the game. Yeah, not very good stuff. Beauden Barrett converted though, so the scoreline was 13-0. Wallaby line out after he then clears for touch. Cody Taylor turnover. Cody Taylor had to depart early because of injury as well, but he definitely got involved while he was still on the field. Rieko Ioane barely had the ball for the first 20 minutes, but in the 22nd minute, he just went to life. Like, what the heck can I use to describe it? It was amazing. He just had such a good 40-meter run before getting tackled. Anton Leonard-Brown, unfortunately though, did get tackled into touch after some hands down the line, so no try for our team in the 22nd minute. 23rd, the Wallabies won the scrum. We did put a bit of defensive pressure on the Wallabies in their own 22, but Dalton Papali'i was offside. The only penalty I believe he gave away during the game. 25th minute, it was also the second Wallaby line out in 2 minutes. Beauden Barrett's around the field kicking was not very good, and that's why it happened. Unfortunately though for the Wallabies, 27th minute, Noah Lolesio was right in front of the posts, about 15 metres out. So normally if you're right in front of the posts, 15 metres out, you would get the goal, wouldn't you? But not Noah Lolesio. I really feel for the guy because he did not get the goal, yet he was 15 metres in front of the posts. Yeah, he's probably going to get a bit of hate online, and I really don't encourage that. Please don't disrespect him and stuff. He had a bad game, but you don't have to be mean about it, do you? Anyway, enough of negativity about Noah Lolesio. We now have to get to the Jordie Barrett part. In the 28th minute, there's been a bit of kicking, a bit of a war with the boots, and Jordie Barrett comes up under the high ball, and he ends up having his eyes shut while this happens. Now, Marika Koroibete is running at full pace towards Jordie Barrett, trying to take him while he's in the air. You can't take a player out mid-air. It's against the rules. There have been, indeed, red and yellow cards for incidents incidences such as these. It happened in the Lions series. There was a yellow card for this exact reason. And Jordie Barrett's foot ends up going into Koro Betty's face. Yeah, I know contact to the head's not allowed, but there is the mitigating factor of the fact that Jordie Barrett could not see him, and the fact that if this did not happen, Barrett would have been taken out mid-air. So I strongly disagree with the fact that Barrett got red carded for this. As I posted online, what is with the stadium and trying to get the Barretts a red card? Is Bowden next? 29th minute, we do have the scrum after Barrett sent off though. Few passages of play before David Havili kicks out on the full. One of the personal best players of the match in my opinion, cannot be faultless, he did indeed do this. 31st minute, the Wallabies ended up winning the scrum after another one started, and Michael Hooper, who's been injured, returns from the blood bin. We then have a bit of an issue in the 33rd minute. Savia gets a turnover in his first game as captain, but Wallabies have advantage. All Blacks have now made 63 tackles in a row. This statistic that Sky showed at this minute really shows the damage that having 14 minute can do. So yeah, ref, please don't do this again. Please. The last few minutes of the first half were definitely looking like they were going to go in the way of the Wallabies too. 36th minute, Cody Taylor goes off for his HIA despite some excellent defence from our backs. Cody Taylor's looking like he doesn't really want to get involved. He's kind of standing there and he's very obviously concussed, so I'm very happy that Cody Taylor came off for that HIA and didn't return because player welfare is a pretty good thing. Now Marika Koroibete in the 37th minute crossed the line again after Wallabies driving more, but he's held up by Scott Barrett, who as I said before had an excellent game. Savia comes off injured at this stage as well, so Ardie Savia had a bit of a head knock too. I'm wishing him a speedy recovery on that head knock. Koroibete gets the ball again a minute later, but George Bower, he's got this. Turnover. I think George Bower was very good in comparison to Carl Tuina-Kawhi, who replaced him in this game, and I do believe that George Bower may be a player that they start over Big Carl whenever Joe Moody gets injured again. I think they are looking for Big Carl to become an impact player full-time from this day onwards. I think that's where Fozzie believes he's best at, and so I think that whenever Joe Moody's injured, George Bower will come straight from being third choice to starting, but we'll see how things go when Moody does indeed return from injury. 39th minute, David Havili gets a try off the driving maul. The cameras were showing George Bower for whatever reason, so I had the impression he had scored despite Samisoni Taukei'aho being at the back of the maul, but it ends up being David Havili, so good on him for joining in the maul. I guess he thinks he's a flanker now. Good supporting from Ethan Blackadder, who came on early for Ardie Savia. Beauden Barrett misses the conversion though, so the scoreline's 18-0. Beauden Barrett's kicking wasn't dreadful, but his conversions were 3 from 5. Damien McKenzie, who came on for Jordie Barrett in the second half after the 20-minute red card had expired, did miss both of his conversion attempts as well. In the second half though, things did go a lot more to the way of the All Blacks. Our team really gelled together, having the 15th man back on, even if it wasn't Jordie Barrett. Even though D-Mac didn't really have too much of a good game, I do believe his communication was spot on, and it's just what Beauden Barrett needs whenever he's at 10, just another communicator to give him a bit of a hand, because when you're so experienced, you do have to do a lot of work in terms of leading the boys. In the second half as well, David Havili got his second try, which is real good to see. Will Jordan crossed in the 54th minute, ALB to the 68th, and George Bridge had only been on the field for 4 minutes when he got his try in the 73rd minute as well. Believe it or not as well, guys, it was Akira Ioane setting up the try assist for Jordan and ALB. He moved to 8 after Savia came off. Blackadder went to blindside, Dalton Papali'i stayed on at 7 until Tupou Va'ai, believe it or not, was Papali'i's replacement. This led to Scott Barrett going to 8, Ethan Blackadder going to open side, and Akira Ioane returning to his starting jersey. Very, very interesting stuff. I believe Brodie Retallick took over as captain after Savia came off, but there was no chit-chat between the ref and the captains after Savia came off, so I don't actually know who was leading the team after Savia came off. It's okay though, we won, so that's what matters, isn't it, guys? Anyway, this was a really good experiment for such a young team too. Samisoni Taukei'aho and Ethan Blackadder in particular will be really better off with all these minutes under their belt after this game. I'm quite happy Blackadder came on very early. I was interested as to how he was going to go. George Bridge, I think, was an excellent replacement off the bench. Please do that again with Bridge, actually. I'd like to see it happening more often. Rieko Ioane, even though he didn't score a try, was my personal man of the match. He was just phenomenal. He ran so many meters. His defense was just crazy good. You can really see the impact that playing at 13 has had on his game at 11 too. He's got some good stuff out of playing at 13. He's brought it over to the wing whenever he's playing on the wing. And that's basically it for today's video, guys. So I'm really happy with how our boys performed in the third Bledisloe Cup of this year. I am anxious about South Africa playing against us, but it's okay. It's Argentina next week. I can't wait to see how Los Pumas go against us, and I'll talk to you guys again later, okay? Please go down, follow us on YouTube and Instagram, give this video a like, and make sure the notification bell's turned on when you subscribe so you do not miss the next video. It's going to be a very exciting one, this next video, and of course, go join our Discord server too. I'll talk to you again later, guys. Bye-bye.